Okie dokie. Let's
Kind of
start.
get.
We have
Hey,
talked
okay, let's start.
enough. The topic of today, and we already addressed it a little,
Mm-hmm.
but repetition never hurts. GLTF. What
What?
GLTF materials even? What does that mean? GLTF is a format for, it stands for, I don't, GL is OpenGL transmission format, so it's a way to exchange mesh with textures.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a GLTF, it comes in different blends, like you can have like what they call a GLTF bin file, which includes everything, the mesh and the textures inside. Or you can have a different format where you have a GLTF file with a folder separately, which contains the textures. So
Oh,
those are two different ways how you can export these materials you make in Blender to another program. In our case, Second Life. I think Second Life can read both formats, but it will not use everything.
okay.
It will, up till now, it will only use the textures and not the mesh. So what they did is they started development of this new material type, which is a PBR material, physical based rendering material, where
Uh-huh.
they kind of upgraded the way things look like. Uh, where we had before, we had color information, the normal texture. We had
Yeah.
the bump map or the normal map, which added depth, and we had specular for shininess. Yeah?
Yep.
With this new material, we add also ambient occlusion. Instead of specular, we get roughness, and we have metalness. We already discussed it, so this is kind of repetition of what we discussed last time. So now
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna look at how do we make this stuff. How do we make a GLTF, um, and how do we get it exported?
All right.
So first thing we need, I'm not going to activate the, the screencast, but we all know what will happen if I do that, yeah? I will just crash.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
So,
not do that.
no. So, we have to go to preferences, and we have to activate this import export add-on called GLTF 2.0.
All right.
And we also use, of course, if needed, we need the node wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
And what's in there in this GLTF format? Um, I noticed, by the way, that the version I use is not the same as the example files you can download from Second Life. They have two example files, uh, which use kind of different nodes than the one we will be using today. I guess it
What?
changed during the last month.
Oh.
So if you go here, you see this add-on has here two options.
Mm-hmm.
The shader editor add-on, which we need in order to make an export, and the material variants. Last one I don't use, but what is it used for? If you make a material, say like a fabric for a dress, yeah,
Okay.
which you're gonna use for a dress, of course. And that material has different colors, and you want like a color menu in Second Life where you can easily switch between the different colors. That's what it's used for. It will make these color variants of the same material. And then
Okay.
you can export that. It's a little bit complex, so I excluded that in this lesson. Huh? So all you have to do is make sure this one is activated.
Okay. We'll save the material variants for a higher level, the experienced series
Yeah,
or expert.
export. Okay. Um, Normally, I guess most of you won't actually use this, what we're gonna do today, unless you make your own textures or you want to change what you downloaded. Normally, you would go to Texture Haven, Polyhaven,
Right.
like I showed you, and you
Right.
go to Textures, and then you download it, and then you already get this Gltf file, which you can
Right.
upload into Second Life. So there's no need for Blender to do anything. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm way too lazy to make my own material.
Yeah, but if you want to pass this class, you will have to
Oh, okay. Well,
at least accept
okay.
that
Well,
you
I'll
will have
attempt
to.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
What we will do, however, is so if you use this, doesn't mean the other way, huh? And the other way being color, bump map, specular, that still works.
Mhm.
You can still use that. This is an alternative, and you can only use this in game engines which will support this, yeah, like the new viewer. Otherwise, you just fall back to the old way, which is the current way, yeah, which
Mhm. Oh, do you see what Strand is saying?
no, I didn't see what Strand is saying because I didn't have the text channel on. Yes, he said yeah.
No, Strand.
No,
One
as
up.
far as I know, Firestorm does not support GLTF at the moment. No, not at the moment. They are working on it. I asked. Um, I think they're waiting for something to be finalized, but they are working on it.
Okay.
So they want to be ready for it. But I think maybe the problem is that Linden Labs is still changing it. And maybe they're waiting because there are several phases in this development. They
Yeah.
decided first step, there's 3 steps in which they want to support this. So it's more like a grow path, a roadmap towards physical based rendering. Is first step, we're gonna change the textures, so we will support the new textures, and you can
Hmm.
upload that as a material, and you
Hmm.
use this GLTF to do that. Second step would be probably to support a new render engine, which
Oh.
which doesn't really impact us as a user or as a creator, but impacts the viewer a lot because they use now OpenGL as a render engine to generate
Hmm.
in the browser, in the viewer, what you see, and that will change to a new way, which is called Vulkan, with a K. Vulkan is the same, I think, which some other game engines use. It's faster, more efficient. It's a little complex for the programmers to support that. And when that's done, they're gonna also add meshes so you can upload your asset, your object, with the materials in one go to Second Life.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to upload them separately.
Cool.
But I think that will take at least another year before they get there.
Oh, okay. So don't hold your breath.
No. Yeah, so we're gonna look at an example of how it's done. The way I use it, if I use it, is because I want to add some ambient occlusion to what I different than the default I have. Yeah. So there are some situations maybe where you want to do this, is where you get some textures, but you don't have all the textures, so you have to generate some of your own, or you only have a color texture. You don't have the bump map, and you don't have the specular or roughness map, but you have some other tool where you can generate these textures, like some add-on like Deep Bump. I recently heard of this add-on. I think.
Yeah, it's Deep Bump.
So there are other tools where you can create textures, and I use it more like I want to change something in what I have. And most of the time, that is, I want to add more ambient occlusion to the object. So I change the ambient occlusion map and then upload it to Second Life. Meaning you have to bake. So if you're not gonna bake, it might not be so useful to use this. Unless you have, like I said, the textures from some other source and you want to add them all together in one Gltf file. Is that clear? Mr. Gray, do you understand?
Yeah.
So let's
Sounds
look
good.
at for a change. We already looked at some wood, we looked at bricks. Let's use some metal. Let's see what happens. So let's pick a metal. There aren't that many. I would suggest we either this one or this one I like. Or just plain rusty. Well, let's do this floor and keep it simple. So I like
Oh, yeah.
this one. And what is here included? It seems all files are included. We download what? Well, we're not going to make itself easy. We're going to not down the blend file. We could do that. But we want to make a blend file ourselves. We're not going to download the Gltf because that means we don't have to do anything at all. We're going to download the zip file.
Okay.
Which probably will, and now as soon as you download, click download, you get the option, what textures would we like to use? Now, one thing you have to remember, which is very important, otherwise it will totally fail.
Oh, no.
If you upload the Gltf file with textures to Second Life, these textures have to be JPEG.
JPEG.
You cannot use a PNG file.
Okay.
Of course, you can use them as input, but you can If you export it, it has to be exported as JPEGs.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's do that. We don't need any transparency on metal anyway, so there's
No.
really no use for PNG here. Plus,
Okay.
JPEGs are smaller than often than PNGs, so the most efficient would be JPEGs.
Okay.
Which one do we want? AO, I would
Uh,
like. No, we are not going to use the AO. That doesn't really matter. This one, AO, roughness and metal we need. The bump map, yes, we like. Let's use the. This one is, I don't know this format. Blender often uses this. I don't even know what these letters means. They are high resolution, more high resolution and more detail often than the JPEGs. So
okay.
we can download them both if we like. Of course, we
Okay.
need diffuse. What is diffuse gray?
Oh, the diffuse is where it shows up diffused.
Diffused, confused.
Did you
Well,
say
no.
diffused
I
or
get it. If
confused?
you see the word diffuse, you get confused. It's color information. Yeah.
Confused. Yeah, it's color. Yeah.
Yeah, it's color. Then why didn't you say so?
Yeah, it's not the black and white. It's the
It's the color.
color
Well,
data.
often when you look at like Blender, also you have two, sometimes two different color information. One is called diffuse and the other one is just called color or base color.
Uh-huh.
In other
Right.
programs, you see the same base color and diffuse, so there seems to be a difference between the two. But they are both color.
The color.
Diffuse is just, no, color or base color means pure color, no extra stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, right. As soon as you add like shadow or ambient occlusion, where you
Mhm.
darken the colors or brighten them, then it's called diffuse. But there is no base color in this list, so diffuse here means the color information. Displacement. Displacement is a black and white. I don't know if it's which one it is here. AO, bump map. Bump map you see here is black and white. And we see here displacement is also black and white.
Thank you, Shanna. I read that. Yeah. High definition. Yeah.
Any comment about?
Huh?
Oh, on the EXR file. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the displacement map is kind of information about height of the mesh. So
Mm-hmm.
it is used to actually influence the mesh itself.
Right.
So it will kind of shrink inwards where it's black, or maybe um, make it grow outwards where it's white. So you get here like these bubbles. These, how do you call these? We call this
Bumps. Yeah.
tears. We call this in Dutch. We call this like tear metal.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Um, what? How do you call this type of metal plate in English?
Yeah. That's what we call it. Metal plate.
We have all kinds, and these look like tears.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we call this in Dutch tears metal, tear metal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
this will have generate a bump in the mesh, which you can use in Blender, but we won't. Yeah, otherwise no, that's gets even more complex. So we don't need to download this. You can if you want. But I switch it off. I don't need one. I need the metal map. So if you look, probably this maybe is the metal map. This map though, yeah. This map to me doesn't make much sense. But white means this is metal, and black means it's not metal. And what they
Yeah.
actually mean here, if you look at the picture, let's focus on this tier here.
Yeah. In America, we call it. This is called diamond plate,
On diamond plate.
diamond sheet metal plate.
So you see, if we let's focus here on this here next to this grid. There is this tier here. We see. To me, it's all brown. Huh? But what they
Yeah.
do here is they say, well, this is more metallish than this part here. That probably means this is more rusty than this
Yeah.
part. So,
I agree.
huh?
I
But
agree.
this gray would mean it's a little metal, yeah? How can be something cannot be both, like I said last time, but so that's kind of odd to me. For me, it's all metal. I don't know if rust actually is metal or maybe isn't metal. I don't know.
But doesn't it? It doesn't maybe define metal, but it defines the amount of light that can reflect from it.
No, it actually means how much of
Shiny.
metal is this, and that also means, of course, how the index of reflection will be for that part of.
Right. Right.
Uh,
The shiny.
I don't know.
Shiny.
I actually don't know how Blender uses this information,
Okay.
but this will go into the shader where we have the metal socket, yeah?
Okay.
So let's download this, of course. We will download this as a JPEG. Doesn't really
How did you
matter.
get the picture of it? Did you just click on it?
Yeah,
Click on the word?
if you click on these, then you just.
Oh, those down there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry.
Um,
Dummy question. Sorry.
oh, you're allowed. Just check.
Thank you.
Normal. We have two forms of normal.
Yeah.
We have we use this one because we are using a GL format.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know. DX, I never used it. I don't know. Probably has to do with the render engine. It's the way it's the normal is defined. Blender uses this one.
Yeah. You've always instructed us to use the GL format.
So we have the roughness map, which is
Roughness.
this one here. So more white means more rough. This will be more shiny. So the shiny part, now let's look here. Shiny part here. Why would that be shiny if we look at the color? Shiny part here doesn't make sense to me. Meaning, if you download these textures, they might look cool, but you actually don't know if they are correct, yeah? If you look at this metal plate, and you say, well, this looks more rusty,
Yeah.
and this is more, this would for me mean, the tears would be, or should be, I think, more shiny because they have more wear, yeah? You walk on that part, so
Yeah.
the rust would be scraped off all the time, yeah? In,
Seems like it.
in between, the rust would take more effect. And when here we say all these yellow and this of greenish and the brown. The brown actually is rust, I guess. What is yellowish is, I don't know, maybe that was paint. That could be, yeah?
Paint
Probably
or
could have been some kind of paint spray, and
uh-huh.
that's why they say it's not metal there, it's paint.
Oh, okay.
That could be, yeah?
Could be. Could be.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you look at the roughness, then you would say this one is less rough on the top of the tiers because people walk it, and between
Hmm.
would be more rough. So, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just say, so you understand how to read these textures.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's interesting at all, but you, as a student, have to know this.
Yeah. No, it's not interesting at all, but it's helpful to know. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. Anyway, but then we have the roughness and the
Hmm.
specular. So roughness and specular. Why is
Oh,
there?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. It is interesting.
Yeah, the more intelligent people here in class do think it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Maybe that's
So
it.
here we have the
Uh,
specular, and here we have the roughness, and they kind of seem the opposite of each other. Which makes sense because if it's more rough, it's less shiny, and vice versa.
mm,
So I I still didn't figure out if there is any point of actually connecting them both at the same time
hmm. Yeah.
because
Are they?
it seems to me always that one is the inverse of the other.
Yeah. It seems like
Not,
yeah, they're
seems
positive
like
and
it, but
negative.
not
Yeah.
completely. Okay, so we
Okay.
selected everything we like.
Hmm.
Um, Thumbnail image using your asset manager. Yeah. Are there? I never tried this. If they come, if, oh no, yeah.
Oh,
You can download.
muse.
I don't know if they are in the download themselves, but these could be used in the asset manager Blender. Yeah, if you want a preview of your material. I don't like it for. I don't like these spheres. I know metal doesn't come in, or this floor plate never comes in a sphere, but
No, it doesn't.
comes in plates. Yeah.
Right. The
So I
plate.
would I would use a square preview and not a sphere preview, but you can make that yourself easily. I don't know if you can. No, you cannot click that in
No,
and
can't
saying, yeah, I
choose it.
want to download them. So I just do nothing and I say, okay, download 20
Download.
megabytes of stuff. We love stuff. And where is it going? In my download folder.
Mm,
Open when done, always open and pause your showing folder. It's downloading, downloading, downloading. It's kind of slow. It's downloaded. And I will put that in my course folder, Blender course. Blender course. Blender course. I want it in my textures. No, not here. I want it in my materials. Okay. What was the name? Date modified. Cut. I will put it here. Paste. And then I will unzip it. Unzip it. Extract to here.
hmm.
So I
All right.
downloaded a zip file and it gave me everything. It
It
gave
looks
me
like it.
it gave me the blend file. It
And
also
GL.
gave me the GLTF file, which I can upload immediately, and it gave me all the textures. So now, what we're gonna do, we have to connect this all to a shader, yeah?
Yeah, let's go to the shader. Let's do it.
Okay. So we will just close this one here. We go back to our Blender.
Here we
And we
go.
say we want to make a material.
We do.
So with the shader, so we go to the
Shader. Yeah.
shader, shading.
Here we go.
And this
Oh my goodness.
this I will put to the side.
That's your asset browser there. I see that. Mm-hmm.
We have it here on materials.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make a new material. So we click here in the shader, new.
Right.
Now we have to connect these textures. Yeah? I will do the slow way. There was this option of the node wrangler where you could say Shift T. Let's see what happens if I hit Shift, Control, and T together, and I go to the folder, where we just downloaded these textures, materials, metal plate textures.
There we go.
And I select this one here, the arm. You remember what it was?
Amalgamated. No. Armature.
Ambient, roughness, and metal.
Ah, yes.
So that's 3 in 1, or we could use them separately.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like?
Well, let's look at how you would link it up as one.
As one. Yeah, okay.
ARM.
As one. Everyone agrees as one. So
Well,
we still need the color information. And we need the normal. Yeah?
that looks like we.
We have the metal, we have the roughness, we have the ambient, we have the color, and we have the normal. So the specular and the roughness here we don't need. This one we all have in there. The metal plate burn the metal we don't need, and the displacement we wouldn't need either because we're not gonna displace.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
And I say principal textures. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. Why not?
No.
Did we select? We didn't select this one.
Oh.
So if I click here and have nothing, no node selected, the Control Shift T will not work.
Oh.
Yeah. Blender course, materials, metal plate, textures, this one, this one, and this one, and now it should work. Now it works.
There we go.
It already connected everything. It looks like connected everything.
That was control. That was control. Right. Control T. No.
It fucked up. Sorry, it made a boo boo.
Uh-oh.
Do you spot it?
What happened?
You don't see?
Normal? Metallic? I don't.
Shanna, you see what went wrong?
No, I can't. Nothing right offhand.
What texture did we input?
GLTF.
We imported the color. You see
Right.
here it's called base color,
Right.
normal,
Right.
and we had an ARM file. It connected the
Oh.
ARM file to the metal. That doesn't look
Oh.
right
No, that's not right.
because there is ambient roughness and metal in this texture file.
Exactly. That's what I was wondering, how that particular node gets linked.
So this is wrong, this connection.
That's wrong. Take that out of there.
We have to add a node here between,
Okay.
and that is, we have to look for a separate. We have to separate this
Separate.
one into three, We have to use the different channels, the red, the green, and the blue, to connect them.
Okay.
So if I look here, we have the UV editor and we have the texture node editor. Am I texture node editor? No. Image editor I need here. If I Control Shift click a node,
Yeah.
I get to see, and I keep doing that. I can toggle between the different outputs, and it will show that here on the cube.
Righto.
So if I do this one, and it will also show the texture here, So this one is the ARM file. This one, the red channel, click again, get the green channel, click again, get the blue channel.
Okay.
So, oh, hang on. I have to check something. So the red channel would be the ambient occlusion. And the green channel is the roughness. So this one has to go in here.
Okay.
Into
roughness.
the roughness.
Right.
The blue channel is the metal.
Okay.
And this one is the ambient occlusion. But there is no ambient occlusion in the shader,
No, there's not.
Meaning we have to trick it. And because we added this add-on, the Gltf exporter, we get a new node. And if we look now in our output, we get here a Gltf material output.
Tricky.
Which isn't there if you didn't add that add-on.
Okay.
So I will select this one. I add that one and I put it up here. And here we can put in this red
There's the ambient
channel in the ambient occlusion. There are some other ones I can put in, but we don't have them. So if we look at the shader,
look at that.
I've added them all together, but if I really want to see how it looks, then I have to click on the
render
engine.
Very nice. Very nice.
You see here, it's kind of shiny here.
Yeah, I see that.
Light, I think, but okay, that's what it's doing.
Right.
So That's basically it. There are some options here which the node wrangler generated, like the mapping of the texture. You can
Yeah.
scale it and rotate it.
Scale it right.
We don't want to do that.
No, we don't want to do that.
So actually, you don't need this. But it made sure that that vector information of this cube, meaning
Mm-hmm.
the UV map
Mm-hmm.
of this cube, is given to the
Right.
shader. So it knows how to map the texture to this cube.
Right.
And now we can export it. And when we export it, it will export all these textures and also the ambient occlusion. Actually, for us, there is no need to export it because it will generate the same as we just gave it as input. So there is no change.
Mm-hmm.
So now we could have the option to like increase the ambient occlusion or change the color of the rust or whatever. Yeah, we can change it and then export it.
Now, I'm curious, the GLT material output, that node does not have an output like to the right side. It doesn't link to anything.
It
Does
doesn't
it
link
direct,
to anything, no. So
so does it,
this here, no,
right.
actually, the output, it doesn't, I'll explain. Normally, if you make a shader, then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, actually, you can answer your own question. The point of a material is in Blender to have some textures and put it into a shader. What does the
Yeah.
shader do? What does the shader
Well,
do? Great.
well,
It
it
shades.
translates the inputs into variables depending on your node setup.
Well, it translates all kind of stuff, but the goal is
Mhm.
to get the picture on your screen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
a
It's
shaded picture. So it will
shade.
take this information and make it shaded in a way, yeah, on the screen so that the cube looks nice on your screen. That's the whole point of a shader.
Right, right.
So
But what I'm
it doesn't output anything, it displays the textures on the screen.
okay, so
So
just by having GLTF material output node there, it's affecting the look
no,
of
it's
the
not
occlusion.
affecting the look. So
No.
the shader shades on the screen, but the GLTF material output, or the point of the GLTF add-on, is to export textures. The point
Oh,
is
okay.
not to display anything on the screen.
Gotcha.
That's the job of the shader.
I
But
gotcha.
here we want to export what we made
Right.
into different texture files.
Gotcha.
So
Got-
this little node here doesn't really care how stuff is displayed on the screen. It just wants to use the nodes, and it knows about some nodes here. That's what's actually the add-on is doing. It looks
Yeah.
at these sockets and sees, oh, they connected these textures,
Gotcha.
but there is some other texture which is meaning the ambient occlusion. And that's why I actually give it here, this ambient occlusion, I give it to this exporter. Say, oh,
Hmm.
don't forget this ambient occlusion texture, you have to export that.
Right. Okay. So it's a gateway or a door that allows it to be exported.
Yeah,
Doesn't show up in Blender.
but well, this one here shows, yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
in the from the shader
yeah,
part.
actually, the ambient occlusion, we didn't do anything with the ambient occlusion. We gave it the roughness and the metalness, but we
Right.
didn't give it the ambient occlusion. We can use it if we like, but then we have to mix this one and this one. Yeah? So if we put this in a color, no,
Oh, color mix.
no, let's do it here. Shift A, color, and a mix color. I put this
Right.
one here, and I put this color in here,
Right.
and I put this one in here.
Right.
And then I use it as multiply.
Right. Oh, look at that.
This is
Yeah.
this is the color.
Mm-hmm.
This is the ambient occlusion. It's kind of not much actually. I mixed them together. Now I can here kind of darken it.
Yeah. You can adjust it a little bit. Uh-huh.
And then put this one here. Now the ambient occlusion has effect on what we see on the screen. Before it didn't. Yeah? Understand? Ray, you still there? Oh, Gray fell asleep. Maybe his phone rang. Anyway, so, but since it's so light, this ambient occlusion file, it doesn't do much. It doesn't really, if I would really want to have it affect more than this, do you have any idea what to put between there, Shanna or Strand? Between this one and this one, if you want to increase the effect of the dark parts of the, yes, a color ramp.
Sorry about that. Had a power hiccup.
Search color.
Here.
This one. With this one here, we can increase the
Thank you.
effect probably of the of the darkness. See, I can make it darker here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you
That's
changed
how you
up
play
some
with
the
it.
ramp. Okay.
Now, does that? Well, you could put, of course, this one into here. Let's first check this one. This one is the alpha channel is empty here, so we can't use the alpha channel to put in here. We have to put the color in here, and if we want to have it more dark, like this,
Yeah.
now we darkened it, and we could take this one and put it in here, meaning this one will be exported as the new
Right.
ambient occlusion.
Right. Gotcha.
Hopefully.
Tricky.
Tricky. Now let's see what happens when we export this.
Very, very cool.
It's all logic, yeah? Step by step.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, isn't it? That's where
But
it
that's why I
tricks
like
me.
these notes,
Trips
because you
me up.
can just refine it, put little things between it, and which makes sense because, like Shanna said, well, yeah, darken it, color ramp, change the color, color ramp.
Yeah. You know, as I tell all my students, one of my favorite sayings is, and it could be my motto for life. Things are very easy when you know how to do it. Ain't it the truth?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's true for a lot of stuff, but even if you know how to do it, still can be complex. I mean, if it's very, yeah, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, let's say you're right. So we want to export this. Everything is connected. Um, we have to go to File and select Export. We don't have to select anything here as particular. We just go to File, Export, and we say Gltf. Where do we want to put it? Let's put it in my Blender course, in Materials, and we call it Metal Plate. Metal. You see here, it tries to make a GLB file. That's not the same as we got. Yeah, we when we downloaded, we got the GLTF file. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's trying to generate a GLB file. That's the format selected here in the exporter, which we can change. We can also make a GLTF file. Let's do that.
Okay.
Then it says, well, you can either use this one or you can use this one. I like this one because it generates the texture folder separately. You can name the texture folder. If you don't, it will be called textures. But you can name it here anything. I just want to, oopsies, selected objects. Otherwise it will. Did we select an object?
I don't know that we did.
No, well, by
Yeah.
accident
Yeah,
we
we
did. So the object we want to export has to be selected, yeah?
Yeah.
If it's not, you don't know what's going to happen. So
No, not much.
it might probably export all the objects in the scene. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's not what we want.
No.
GLTF.
No, I forget to select that, and I usually get my background or my little platform that I build on to be included, which is not what I want at all.
Metal plate. Okie dokie. We take this one, include selected objects.
Mm-hmm.
This one, rest, you can leave like this. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Transform. That's a format for the normals.
Okay.
You leave it like this. Data. Mesh. No. Here, here you already see it will export a mesh. It will export a mesh, but the importer of Second Life will not use it. But at some point you have to, of course, to decide if you didn't apply the modifiers yet. You have to, of course, do that here.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
UV maps you need. And yeah. So this would be the only one you would have to click,
Okay.
but it wouldn't have any effect now.
Okay.
Materials.
Here we
Yes.
go.
Export. That's on default. Automatic, no. You need JPEG. Maybe that will change in the future because I don't know why it has to be JPEG. Maybe it's just a bug in the current way it works.
Yeah.
But if you select JPEG, it will work. No, the
Okay.
rest is not important. Export. Or no, let's first ask questions.
All right.
Anything not clear here?
Oh.
Name it, format, JPEG. Selected objects. Important. China's typing. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
So it exported. So let's see. Where did it put it? Here.
Where did it export it to?
We did select. We did select a folder, didn't we?
Did we?
This one, no. Did put it here? No. The Orlando course materials. String? Well, no. Did I forget something?
Well, I'm not sure. Export. There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah, it did make, but where is the rest?
Blender course
Where is the
materials.
where?
Where's the mesh?
No, where is the textures? Where are the textures?
Oh, okay. They wouldn't be all. They wouldn't be included in the metal plate GLTF.
Okay, let's say I don't know. There could be several problems, yeah, because I'm a little bit dumb. I showed you something I never do because I changed the input. We added the extra color ramp and stuff.
Yeah.
Should work, I should say.
Yeah.
But maybe because this one wasn't named, it's a little bit. How do you say that in English? Flunky. Here now it made a folder. Yeah.
Yeah. There they are.
There they are. So it made 3 textures. Now the question, of course, is this one here the one where we added some extra ambient occlusion?
I think it was. No, well, or was it up in the color? Well, that is the color, isn't it?
Well, we need some more where we can see it more easily. If I look at this and I compare this one with the one we downloaded, this one, I don't see any difference at all.
They kind of look the same, don't they?
Yeah. So it didn't do it.
Did not do it.
In spite of the fact that we put it in here and didn't do it. That could well be. Well, if it didn't do it, then the only option is to bake them first and then put them into the shader, because why didn't it took this one? It looked at this one. No, it generated a new ARM file. Hmm. That's odd.
And we're going to be covering baking next week.
Yeah, baking is next lesson. We start with baking.
All right.
I made it more complicated than it should be. It could be that it just looks at textures, at texture nodes. I've read it somewhere that it will only look at texture nodes.
Oh,
Um,
so all that extra is not
and
needed?
this is just for the shader.
Okay.
Um, I thought it would be looking at these sockets, what is getting as input,
Yeah, I think.
because it didn't, I don't think it changed. Uh, let's see if it changed the color of the, so we have this one, this was the original file, and we have this
Mhm.
one as output. If we look, they are also the same.
They look the same.
They looked exactly the same, so it didn't look at these input sockets here and made the textures, exported the texture what is as input here, but it took
Well,
these
that's crazy.
textures, it traced back to the textures which were the input,
Hmm.
and those were
Hmm.
exported. So if you actually want to change this, if you want to add this,
Yeah.
ambient occlusion means you have
Yeah.
to bake a new color map and then use that as input.
Oh,
That's actually what you have to do.
okay.
But for that, you have to do baking.
Well, there you
So
go.
let's first look at baking, and then we maybe can come back to this when we understand baking, if that actually works, should work. But
Yeah.
this is the principle of
Exactly, Shanna.
GLTF.
This is like one of those stay tuned. This is a cliffhanger, you know. If you
Um,
want to know about what we did today, you're going to have to come back next week.
yeah. Well, there's something else I like to do, to show you. We
Yeah, but
still
we
have,
won't go into that.
well, or unless we have
Oh,
questions. We already are at quarter past, uh, so maybe. Who's up for a little thing still?
I have to leave,
Okay, we will leave it.
but
Um,
but you can
because
do it with
this
you
is
can do it.
kind of annoying. It says red, green, and blue, and all the time I have to remember, oh,
Right,
which was which. Yeah.
right.
So you could change that into if you select this node and you say
Uh-huh.
shift no group, um,
Edit
no,
group.
you have to make a group out of it. So no, I will do that another time. It takes more time,
Okay.
and
Uh-huh.
then you can rename this to whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that would be very convenient because I was going to ask, but I didn't. I should have asked maybe. How did you know that the red was going into, the ambient? How did you know
Well,
green?
I have read it somewhere on the internet.
Oh, you have to
Like,
read it. See, like it's easy when you know how to do it. There we go.
well, yeah,
Wait a
being
minute.
able to read is kind of a requirement for this course.
You, that's what I was just going to say. This may be what's called learning. When you read something, you keep it in your mind and you can duplicate it. You can mimic it later. Maybe you have learned something. Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
RGB is
RGB,
on. Yeah.
ARM.
Ambient. Yeah, actually makes
Very
sense.
good. Very good.
But
Oh,
if you're
Shanna.
getting older, then still it's getting
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
let's leave it to this. Any questions?
Yeah. What do you mean by older? What? What's your?
I mean
What's your?
above 70.
Above 70?
Yeah.
Oh crap. Oh. Oh well.
So that's not me, but
Yeah, I know.
okay.
Strand has no questions. She's got it all. She's going to go out and do it as we close this class. She's that good.
Okay.
Okay.